Now for the question here, it says that if P is a matrix that has as its first row 1 0 -1, the second row 3 4 5, and the last row -1 0 1, then we are told to find the determinant of P. So you note that the symbol you have here, it connotes the determinant of the matrix P. Now how do you find the determinant of the matrix P? Now there's a procedure you follow in finding the determinant of the matrix P. So the first thing is you begin by labeling each of the entries in the first row. Each of the entries in the first row. So you label them plus, negative, plus, because we are going to use them in finding the determinant of P. So the determinant of P equals, so this is a 3 by 3 matrix. So to find the determinant of P, I need to reduce the problem to a smaller problem. That is, to reduce the problem of finding a 3 by 3, the problem of finding the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix, to the problem of finding the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. So how do I go about that? Now what's going to happen is, for the first entry in the first row, that is what you have here, you delete the first row and delete the first column. So what I have is, this is plus 1 multiplied by, you delete the first row and the first column. So what you're going to have left is 4 5 0 1. So multiplied by 4 5 0 1. So when we are done with that, the next one is -0. So we write -0. Then the same thing happens here. You delete everything in this column and in this row. So what I mean is, everything in this column and in this row is deleted. So write the remaining entries you have. So this is going to be 3, you have 5, -1, you have 1. And then the next thing you have is plus -1. So you can see I'm using all the entries in the first row. So plus -1. So similarly here too, you delete all the entries you have in the column and in this row that coincides with the entry at this point here. So we are going to be left with is 3 4 -1 0. So this is just going to be, so plus 1 times this is still going to be plus 1. So to find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, just multiply this by this minus this by this. That is 4 times 1. So it's going to be 1 multiplied by 4 times 1, that is 4, minus 5 times 0, that is 0. Then -0 into, so similarly 3 times 1, that is 3, minus 5 times -1, that is -5. Then plus times negative, you have -1 into, so again 3 times 0, that's going to give you 0, minus 4 times -1, that would give you -4. So you can see the way I obtained my answer. So to find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, all you need to do is multiply this by this. So the first entry by the last entry, then subtract it, just like you're doing like a zigzag or an X pattern. So 4 minus 0 is 4, negative, so 0 times this, so this goes to 0, it goes to 0, then -1 times 0 -1, so this is minus times minus is going to give us plus, so 0 plus 4 is 4. So this is 4 here. So you have is 4 minus 4, and your answer is going to be 0. So our solution is B.